Mention Morecambe to many people and you'll conjure up an image of a town that's seen better days. But in a bold and maybe risky step, developers are spending £10 million refurbishing the town's Art Deco Midland Hotel. But will it help to bring back the visitors? Well, we sent Morecambe lad and Art Deco expert Paul Hayes to find out.
Do you know what? How sad is this? Look at this place. Eh? Years and years of decline and neglect. Believe it or not, this used to be the nerve centre of the promenade. Everywhere you'd come here was thousands of people. You couldn't get near anywhere. Over the barrier here used to be an open-air swimming pool, which I spent most of my childhood in. Over there used to be Marine Land, which is one of the world's first dolphinariums and aquariums. Behind me on a Sunday afternoon you used to be able to hear a band, and you couldn't move for deck chairs. This really was where it was happening. But look at it now, it's an absolute disgrace. But all is not lost. Rising from the ashes over here is the Midland Hotel. Now this is the Art Deco epitome really of hotel design. It was made in 1933, but it's fallen into disrepair, but not anymore. It's been brought into the 21st century, and it's an absolutely fantastic place, and hopefully put Morecambe back on the map.
But recapturing former glory is no easy task. These contractors have been working here for 2 years, and there's another year to go before the hotel reopens. The challenge is to resurrect an icon which caught the imagination of an era. The 1930s Midland was high glamour. Whilst the mill workers stayed in local B&Bs, the mill owners and wealthy socialites gathered here. Coco Chanel even flew in from the south of France for the weekend. In the 1950s and 60s, the hotel enjoyed a heyday, but after that its fortunes ebbed. By the turn of the century, after going through a series of owners, it was all but derelict, facing demolition. But local people like Sue Thompson decided that couldn't happen. They set up the Friends of the Midland to try to save it.
Now Sue, I'm going to let you into a little secret now. Believe it or not, in the early 1980s, I used to sell ice creams from a kiosk right on this very spot. And I used to look out at this wonderful Art Deco building here, and I fell in love with it. And you share the same interest, don't you? I mean, so much so you set up your own society. I mean, what was it about this particular hotel that gave you that enthusiasm?
Well, Morecambe has suffered such dreadful headlines. Over the years, we'd lost so many things and gained absolutely nothing. And then people started to want to take our Midland Hotel away. They wanted to board it up, they wanted to knock it down. It belongs to this town. It's a wonderful building. We've put up with it in many different forms. And we were absolutely passionate that this building was here to stay for Morecambe and for the local people.
They even thought about buying it themselves. But in 2003, a rescuer appeared, Urban Splash, a developer with a track record in taking on challenging projects. Kieran Gardner is construction manager.
I mean, this really is an amazing project. It must have taken forever to get even to this stage.
Well, I can only liken it to a very passionate love affair with the building, in fairness. Is that sometimes she's very good to me and other times she's been very cruel to me. We had a crack in the wall which allowed the seawater to pour in, and the crack appeared from when the building actually settled. It dropped in the middle and twisted at its opposing corners. That caused a stress crack over in the wall there that carried on through the floor and this wall. It allows the seawater to come in on a high tide. In fact, we cored through the basement slab just to do tests, and you could see the rise and fall of the seawater. This, in effect, has been one of the nicer parts of the love affair. We've got this beautiful glass render, and I call it glass because we have 3 different types of glass in here. There's a white, a green, and a pink. And the idea is that we've sanded this off, and then it's etched, and it brings out the sparkle in the glass. So if you can imagine the sea on a nice, still, glassy day with the sun shining on it, and it's got what we call diamonds, and it's glistening away, this render will have the exact same effect.
It was a wonderful style, wasn't it?
It was. Was great style.
A style, Art Deco, which just happens to be a passion of mine. Inside there are breathtaking examples.
Now, when Oliver Hill first built this hotel, he had the idea of using some of the major designers and artists of the period. And this mural here behind me is done by no other than Eric Gill. And he now is a household name, but in his day, he was just a modern artist. But he had a great vision. What he did was take a classical story, in this case Homer's Odysseus, and he would turn it with a modern twist. And the whole thing is absolutely beautifully carved. It's in 12 sections. It must have been a mammoth task in its day. Value-wise, about £1.5 million. And I hope it's here to stay for the next generation. You know what, I can't believe, Harry, that you were here, how long ago, 1936?
1936.
And you were a bellboy?
I was, yes.
And was that a good job?
There's one man who remembers the hotel in its full glory, but Harry Adams hasn't stepped inside, except for one brief visit in the 1970s, for 60 years.
Whoa, now this is the moment of truth now. It's been a long time since you've been in here.
It is.
It's just as you remembered it.
Not quite, not quite.
There's definitely been a few changes, so, I mean, was it really grand when you walked in?
It was beautiful. And the thing that took most people's eye was this staircase.
Yes, of course, yes, it's wonderful spiral staircase.
So when when people are coming down for their evening meals, the ladies in their dresses, the gents in their tuxedos, it was a sight to see, honestly.
It must have been absolute glamour.
It was very nice.
And can you sum up the emotion, the feeling that you got at the time when you were here?
Yes, I thought I could have stayed in the hotel trade all my life when I worked here.
So was it fair to say it was a very upmarket hotel?
It was the best in this area, in the northwest, I would think.
Really?
Yes.
That's a lot to live up to. The company will run the hotel themselves under General Manager Olivier de Launois, though it's not exactly what they planned.
In the early stage, the idea was to build it as a beautiful hotel and then let an operator take it on. Now, that didn't happen because nobody wanted to touch it for a variety of reasons, which are, a lot of them, quite understandable. You know, it's in an area of regeneration. It's a very difficult building. The relation between the bedrooms and the amount of food space is not ideal either. So it's not enough bedroom. You want as many bedrooms as you can in an hotel.
No one's dream in Morecambe can return to being a mecca for families seeking the traditional British seaside holiday. The company will offer upmarket short-term breaks at the hotel and has a new vision of development for the town, which it hopes will kickstart wider regeneration.
The idea is that ultimately, when we have apartments and we have shops and we have almost a mini economy, that will stem the growth of Morecambe again and bring it back to its glorious day.
It's already happening. Other developers have arrived following the company's lead. There's growing optimism here.
Morecambe's already on the map, but it's on the map for the wrong things. But the hotel, people talk to me from all over the world about this hotel. Everybody asks. When I say I come from Morecambe, they go, oh, do you know that wonderful Art Deco hotel that sits just next to the sea? So people will come from far and wide to see it, and investment in the town, that's what we're hoping for.
Now, I spent a lot of time today thinking about the past, but it would be wonderful to think that this hotel is the secret of Morecambe's future.
Bye now.